Hello? Hello?
Hi, I can hear you. This is Gabriel. But on the group, you see me as Oluwaseyi.
Okay, can you hear and see my screen clearly?
100%, 100%.
Okay. So
I've
since you're,
been I've been waiting since 2:30.
I know when
So
you
I
joined,
won't miss it. That's why I just logged
I
in.
was like, didn't this person read the time? Why is this person so early like this?
I did, I did, I did,
You
I
joined
did.
around
Don't
2:30.
mind me.
I was like, this person is too early now. Wait now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, since you're the
Don't
only
mind
one,
me. Most
others are,
like my Sundays are very busy. But
okay.
let's get going. Let's get going.
Let me see if one more person can join,
So
but
I'll mute my microphone because of that. Okay.
well, let's just continue.
I'll
Let's
mute my
just start
microphone
off.
because of background noise.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Since
Okay.
others are yet to join, let's just start off because I want to do something else. I just want to what I wanted to do was to post a chat, but I said there are some things I might want to relate. Typing will be too long. So let me just do a video, a very short video. So good afternoon, good morning, everybody. You're welcome to this week's review with Great White FX for the 12th to 16th of June, June 2023. So without taking so much of your time, let's look at what we have on the economic calendar. This week is going to be very interesting. FOMC on Thursday. I think I saw unemployment news for Aussie on Thursday. Then high impact news, 1:30. You could see the number of high impact news on Thursday. Then yen monetary policy on Friday. So this week is going to be very interesting for dollar and some other pairs. So without taking so much of your time, let's get down to business. So let me remove all my indicators, give only my annotation. So looking at US, we're going to start off with the NASDAQ, that was US 100. So looking at this pair, there's what you call, look at this. For those of you who follow ICT, you understand what this is. This is a balanced price range. And that is where price has been having a little bit of issues for some time now. If you go down to your daily time frame, go down to the daily time frame. My network is interesting today. If we go down to the daily time frame, we can see that this is like in a consolidation. It's in a consolidation below this level. It's clearer on your 4-hour time frame. It's clear on your 4-hour time frame. You can see this is just basically what you have. So what you have is an impulse and a consolidation. So if price gets to the top of this area and doesn't close above it, then the range will continue. So basically this pair is just in a consolidation. What you do is you play the range. If price gets to the range high, you look for bearish opportunities to take a shot. If it gets to the range low, you look for bullish opportunities to go long. For now, it's in a range. Although the impulse is still to the upside, but it's consolidating now until we get a good close above 14,664. This pair will just basically continue to range. That's it for the NASDAQ. The next one we're going to look at is the dollar index. So looking at the dollar index, let me set this up weekly, daily, and wow. So looking at the dollar index, we have what looks like a bearish candle formation on the weekly. If we go down to the daily, then I can break it well. If you look at the daily time frame on the dollar index, let me hide everything so that you can only just see the candles. You see this big up candle here. as a bearish order block. Then we have this also as a second bearish order block. Now, if you pull back the annotations, you find out that the open price of this big candle, price was not able to close above it throughout last week. And as a result, we had a close below this low. So that in and of itself is the start of a bearish leg on the dollar index. So what are we expecting this coming into this new week? We'll be looking at a retracement and a continuation back to the upside, to the downside, sorry, a continuation back to the downside. The question is, how is a retracement going to be? I have no idea. But this is your dealing range. If you were to use dealing range, you're going to have this high, 104.29, to the low price made at 103.29. So that is your dealing range. You wait for price to come up to the equilibrium. When price comes up to the equilibrium and gives you a bearish evidence, then you can take a short position. But for now, the dollar index going into the new week, it may retrace a bit, but the retracement might be short-lived for lower prices towards maybe 102.96 on the 4-hour. The next pair we're going to look at is EURUSD. Since we have a bearish setting up on the dollar index, the EURUSD, as we can see, we already have what looks like a bullish engulfing candle, but it has the long upper wick. So if we go down to the weekly time frame, sorry, to the daily time frame, this may retrace. As you can already see, it's already started the retracement with Friday's candle closing as this might be a harami or an inside bar on candle formation. If you go to the 4-hour time frame, we have this fair value gap here and this other fair value gap here on the 4-hour. So looking at this pair, this is your dealing range from this low to this high. And if you notice, the equilibrium is below this 4-hour fair value gap. So I believe you may see something like this. This may break below this, come into this zone here, then probably give you something like this, then continue to the upside. That's what might most likely play out on the EURUSD going into next week. The next pair we're going to be looking at is GBPUSD. So looking at the GBPUSD showed enough strength last week. As you can see, it closed higher than the EURUSD. That was as a result of the weakness of the euro against the pound. So this pair for now is bullish. What you'll be looking for on this pair is any retracement and a long opportunity. That's what we'll be looking for on this pair. But this pair, if you go to the 4-hour time frame, there's something here on the 4-hour time frame. We have this high, we have this low, we have this higher high and break of neckline. On the 4-hour, this neckline was not basically mitigated. Price didn't come back up to it before dropping. So, and now price is at that area. So you'll be very cautious. That's why I said you look for a retracement on this pair. And if you look at this pair, there's a lot of space here, this big imbalance. So if this rallies up here and gets rejected, then it might come into this area for a continuation back to the upside. So for the GBPUSD, the bias on this pair is still tilted to the upside. But if it runs into this area first, it might be rejected because this is what you call a bearish breaker. We had this high, we had this low, we had this higher high that took this. This area was broken and price didn't mitigate it immediately. It's coming back there. let me see if this formation is on the dollar index. Let me point it out on the dollar index. Let me see. Is it on the 4-hour or on the 1 hour? Yes, it's on the 4 hour. Look at it here. That's information on the, let me remove everything so that it's easy to see. That's information I'm pointing out on GBPUSD. We have it also here. We have this high, we have this low, we have this higher high, and we have this break. We can see this was a very, very steep retracement into that area. It's the same formation. That is what you have on the GBPUSD. Price is just coming into that of the GBPUSD. So we might see a little bit of a rejection from that area as what you have here. It's clearly more defined on this. So that's where price is. So you don't want to be taking a long position here. You need to wait for price to retrace a bit and then continue back to the upside. So the next way we're going to be looking at is gold. Gold is very interesting. Gold is very interesting. If you look at gold, we can see that gold closed as what you call a kind of an engulfing on the weekly. Cover the body of this candle. Cover the body of this candle on the weekly. If you drop down to the daily setup, this is basically what we have on the daily setup. It's in a range. It's in a very, very tight range. That's between this high at 1985.33 to 1932.14. As where price basically is. If you switch to your line chart, it becomes very, very clear. And see that price is in a range. If you switch back to your candles, then you drop down to your 4-hour time frame. So what are we expecting on this pair? It becomes very clear on your 4-hour time frame. If you switch to your line chart, you can see price is not going anywhere for now. On the 4-hour, he's not making any new highs and he's not making any new lows. So what you're basically going to do on this pair is that liquidity above these equal highs was swept on Friday. For this pair, for gold to continue bullish, it has to stay above 1947.91. And what is so remarkable about this level? If you understand ICT's fair value gap, there's a fair value gap between this point to this point. And you have this point to this point. Who can tell me what is common to these two gaps? Anybody there? Can anybody help me out? Hello? Hello, can you guys still hear me? Okay, somebody sent in a chat. I said, if you look at these two gaps, if you understand fair value gaps, because you need to be able to see it yourself.
It's in one sweep, going down, one sweep coming up.
Exactly. And if you look at, it's always at the same point. Do you see it here? One up, one down. The same thing too here, one up, one up, one down, one up. So at that same point, you see, it's just basically very, very clear at what price is doing. So now, if this is to continue going up, this low has to hold. If this low fails, then he's going to sweep this equal lows here. Because I'm of the opinion, if this is to go up, it needs sell side liquidity. And this is where you have it. This is where you have it. I'm of the opinion this would sweep low. But if it's going to sweep, I'm expecting 1947.91 to hold our support. If that fails to hold our support, then it's going to take out this lows here. So that's basically it for gold going into the new. It's in a consolidation. So you just need to be very careful. So the next way we're going to be looking at is EURGBP. EURGBP has been what you would call a sick baby. it has been basically one way throughout the entire week. But it has picked up a significant low on the weekly time frame. I'm waiting for my chart to come up. It has picked up a significant low on the weekly time frame. If we go into this area, this low here from November 2022, price has closed below it. So that's in and of itself is another bearish situation. But most times when price closes below a low like this, a swing low like this, you will always see a retracement. So you don't want to be taking a short position here. What you'll be waiting for is a retracement and a continuation back to the downside. So let's look at the daily, see if we have any significant level below the daily. Nothing on the daily. Let's look at the 4-hour. Let's see if we have anything there on the 4-hour. On the daily, there's something on the daily. I just remembered. Let me see. Okay, we have this consequent encroachment here on the daily. I have this on the daily. So basically, this pair, it may retrace going into the new week. And after that retracement, then we might see a continuation back to the downside. For this pair, the order flow on this pair is still bearish, still tilted to the downside. He's not making new highs, he's making new lows. So this is your dealing range, 86.36 to 85.41. So any retracement here, you look for short. So you could start from this high to this low, then the equilibrium is somewhere here. This is where the equilibrium is. And if you notice, at the equilibrium, you have a bearish order block there. So this would be a good place if price gets there to look for a short position in continuation with the prevailing trend. That is if price does not give a bearish reversal here first. What do I mean by a bearish reversal? That means price does not give a situation like this. Price does not rally, drop below, then something like this. If you see something like this order block will not work. It will not stop price. Probably what it might do, it might slow price a bit, then price is going to continue higher. So if you don't see a formation like this, then this is going to hold. So that's what we need to wait out for next week. So the other pair we're going to be looking at is the GBPCHF. Well, the GBPCHF, we seem to be in the beginning of a bearish move. If you look at this pair from the daily time frame, it has been in a kind of a consolidation, the whole of this area here. As you can see, price has broken above, retraced back into it, and continued back to the upside. So if we look at this pair, we have this bullish order block at this point here. We have this bullish order block at this point. So if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, what do you expect on this pair? This pair, if it doesn't go for the highs first, what do I mean it doesn't go for the highs? If price does not do this first, but instead drops, then you'll be looking for long positions to come up to this place. But if the price should rally first, look to your left, we have some structure points here. We have some structure points here. We have all these, we have these equal highs here and these highs here on the 4-hour. So if price rallies first and takes out these levels, then you wait for bearish opportunity, something like this, to go down. So it depends on what price decides to do first. But looking at it, after this high, it didn't make a new high. So it might retrace a bit before continuing back to the upside. And as you can see, there's already an impulse. This is kind of a consolidation before price continues back to the upside. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is the yen basket. So looking at the yen basket, we look at the yen basket for directional bias on the yen pairs. So there's something I want to point out on this pair on the, is it weekly or daily time frame? It's on the daily time frame. It's not on the weekly. This is still very, very much in a downside move. But if you look at it, where price is now on the daily time frame, price is at a significant bullish order block. That's where price has come into now. So going into the new week, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, depends on what price is going to do first, how they decide to play it. And you know, we have yen rate news on Friday. So the yen is going to might be active this week. So it depends on what they are going to do. So the question is, will it sweep first, then something like this, and before going back up? Or will price rally first, take out these highs, then create something like this and start moving up? That is what you need to wait and see. But for now, where the yen basket is sitting on, you don't want to take a short position here. You need to wait for it to retrace a bit, then continue back to the downside. For it is not making, as you can see, it's in a bearish order flow. Price is taking out the lows, it's not making any new highs. So if you're watching this pair within the week and you just notice that you get a good close above 74.53, that will tell you that the retracement higher is about to start on this pair. And when that happens, what you will have on your yen basket, like pound yen and euro yen, is that you then see a sell-off on those pairs, because the pound yen has been very, very, very bullish for a while. Let me look at the left to see where price is now. Let's see. Basically, this has been bullish. It has taken a buy side liquidity here. The next liquidity is going to be this fair value gap here. As if it continues one way without a retracement. But for this pair, I would say you wait for a bit of a retracement, then a continuation to the upside. Because this pair is still bullish, but it may retrace. Given where the yen basket is, if that bullish order block holds, then this, you might see a retracement, and a retracement should happen. You'll be watching this area here. Although we have a little fair value gap here, a tiny fair value gap here, because that's just basically it on the 4-hour, then this other block here. So that's what you'll be waiting for. If this gets rejected from here, then you look for a long opportunity. But that depends on what price does here first. If price rallies, if price should rally and fail to close above 175.54 and closes back inside, you look for something like this to go short towards this area or any area lower. That's one of the stops you need to watch out for. But for this pair is still bullish. If it doesn't attack the previous week's high and starts to retrace, then you'll be looking for long opportunity from this 4-hour fair value gap here. The last but not the least is going to be Euro Yen. And if you look at the Euro Yen, you notice that the Euro Yen did not rally as much as the Pound Yen. If you look at it on the weekly time frame, let's look at the weekly candles. You can see the way the yen's weekly candle is looking like, the euro's weekly candle is looking like. But the yen's candle was very, very bullish. This is as a result of the euro weakness against the British pound. So that was a major indicator. So for this pair is still tilted bullish, but it's in a kind of a consolidation now, as you can see on the daily. It's in a kind of a consolidation, as you can see on the daily. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, it's just basically in a consolidation. Still tilted to the upside, but it's in a consolidation between this point and I can say basically here. So this is where you have price for now. So what you wait for to see is what price does here. You have a 4-hour fair value gap here. We have a 4-hour fair value gap here. So if price rallies into here, gets rejected, you might take a cautious short position down into the range. Then we also have here also. So if you don't want to take a short, you wait for price to come in here, give you bullish evidence, and then look at this high or this fair value gap as your exit point. So is there any pair anybody who want me to look at, or any questions anybody has before we call it a day? Hello? Any question? Anybody with any question? Or is there any pair you want me to look at that I didn't look at? Okay. So in the absence of any question, I think we're going to call it a day. So I wish everybody a beautiful weekend and a wonderful week ahead. The video will be posted on the YouTube channel, so don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. So goodbye, everybody, and a lovely weekend ahead.